Hello, my name's Jocelyn. This video goes through some of the voiced and unvoiced consonants and why it matters when you're singing. So there are a couple pairs. There's s and z, t and d, p, b, f, v. And the thing about these is the mouth stays exactly the same. It's just the vocal cords. In one sound, like a t sound, your vocal cords are open, and then in a d sound, your vocal cords are closed. So here's the t and the d and the p and the b, so you can see what it looks like.
T, 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 d, 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 p, p, b, 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 p, 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 p,
and b have the same lips, just one has the vocal cords open and one has them closed. So the reason why it even matters is a lot of times when you start with an unvoiced, so the vocal cords are open, it's harder to get a clean start. If you saw the video about circular breathing or the breathing endoscope video, when you take a breath and start to sing, your vocal cords come naturally together. And what a unvoiced consonant does is you send a burst of air, they start open, and then you have to quickly get them together and find the pitch. So it's just a little bit more challenging. And the way you can use this is like if you're starting something and it needs to be a really subtle entrance, let's say on a T, a lot of times you can take the T and turn it halfway into a D, or even just turn it into a D, and you'll get a cleaner start because your vocal cords on the consonant are coming together, as opposed to like sending air and then trying to get them smoothly together after that.
g, 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 g.
And then on the other hand, it can really help you start a phrase. So with k and g, the K has a really strong attack to it. And that can actually help you when you're singing like a high note that needs a lot of support. You can actually add more of the unvoiced consonant to give you sort of a head start on the air and the support. There's that Messiah piece that goes like, King of Kings, bum, bum, bum. And in that case, I would add more K. Also, the other thing with voice and unvoiced is the unvoiced tends to give a lot of diction because of the breakup of air. Sometimes with just all voiced consonants and vowels, it can get sort of mumbled and just start sounding the same. So it's the unvoiced that often give the better diction.
S, 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 z, 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 z.
Oftentimes when you're recording, a producer will put a de-esser on. So if your S's are sort of hard, they will minimize that. And you as a singer can just minimize it by either doing it less or turning it into more like a Z sound. Plosives like P's and F's, they can get pretty aggressive in the mic. So if you were recording, you may sort of have a really small P or turn that P into like a half B so that it doesn't hit the mic too hard. Managing your unvoiced and voiced consonants can also help you manage breath. So if you have a f sound and a v sound, the f sound, the F sound uses a lot more air. If you have a phrase where you're running out of air or you don't have as much air for the phrase, you may want to minimize how much f you put on something and also sort of half turn it into a voiced consonant because you're going to waste less air. And it does really matter whether you're performing live or recording. You can get away with a lot more when you're recording when it comes to like minimizing consonants and just sort of bringing them up in the mix, as opposed to in live singing. A lot of times we overdo the consonants because they have to go so far.
Sh, 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 z, 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 z.
The other thing you can do with voiced and unvoiced is when you're singing a long legato phrase and you have an unvoiced, you have this nice vocal cord connection, and then all of a sudden you have to open for like a t or a k or something like that. And it can be a little bit hard to start back up the vocal cords and keep the whole line as legato as possible. So what I tend to do on long lines is make it a very small consonant. So like a t, I still do it, t, but I don't go t, I go t, t, dig, dig.
ch, 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 j, 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 j.
Okay, I hope it's helpful. Good luck.